Days pass, years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing, our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when the lightning of your presence illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. Days pass, years vanish, and we walk sightless among miracles. God, fill our eyes with seeing, our minds with knowing. Let there be moments when the lightning of your presence illumines the darkness in which we walk. Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it.
As we join our hearts together in prayer, let's take a breath. And as our hearts join, we lift our awareness to life, to infinite loving presence that dwells within, spirit that is always available, the very life that breathes me, that enlivens me right now. God is present. I release any tension in my body as I breathe. I relax into this moment, and I know peace. And it's from this place of peace that I send love and light to all around me. And even as I do, I now receive the love and light flowing to me. I am waking up to the gift of life and all its possibilities in this moment. I am grateful, and so it is.
Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we, clay touched by God, will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe people are often unreasonable and self-centered. Forgive them anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of ulterior motives. Be kind anyway. If you are honest, people may cheat you. Be honest anyway. The good you do today may be forgotten tomorrow. Do good anyway. Give the world the best you have, and it may never be enough. Give anyway. If you find happiness, people may be jealous. For you see, in the end, it is between you and God. It never was between you and them anyway.
Help us to see wherever we are that the bush burns unconsumed, and we clay touched by God will reach out for holiness and exclaim in wonder, how filled with awe is this place, and we did not know it. How filled with awe is this place. Help us to see it.
Good morning, everybody. Stacy's with Aiden on their way to Unity Village for IYOU. That's an international rally. The teenagers, 9th through 12th grades, from all parts of the world and the United States. So they're boarding a plane, I think, right about now. And so I'm filling in. I'm John, also a member of your board. And thank you so much. As a board member, to see the youth grow, one of the signs of a healthy youth program is when they bring friends that their parents, and we see a lot of that. So, and again, thanks to all of you. 2 weeks from now, the YOUers will be going away to Rendezvous, north of Spokane. Everyone's heard the expression, kids these days. Well, you really want to find out about kids these days, spend some time with them. And I have an opportunity for you because we need a driver to go over too. So, so you really want to, they're enthusiastic and they're fun and they have empathy and they're really, really neat people. So they're going to make great adults. So I guess we'll do our blessing, huh? All right.
Beautiful. Good morning and welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. We're so very glad that each and every one of you are here. We want you to know that this is a place where you are completely accepted. This is a place where you can know that you are honored. And not only that, you can know that you here at Unity in Lynnwood are celebrated. The very nature of life itself is one of inclusivity. The nature of life itself is one of diversity, and the very nature of life itself is one of love. And when we know that here, we know that in our hearts, we can feel it, and we can feel that energy of welcome. And not only do we feel it here, all of us are invited and encouraged that when we walk out of these doors here, that we are invited to take that very same energy of welcome into our worlds as well, into our relationships, into our work, into our interactions, so that we can spread the joy, spread the good vibe of that welcome, because we are ambassadors here at Unity in Lynnwood. We know what it's like to be a part of a community like that, and we can spread the word and spread the love, spread the welcome. I'm so glad to be doing it with you. Wow, yeah, that's right, woohoo. It's worth a yoo-hoo. Today is Sacred Service Sunday, and we teach service as a powerful spiritual discipline. Here to say a few more words about that is our service coordinator, Michelle Van Eyck. Let's welcome her to the platform.
Good morning. I want to start by saying thank you to everyone who attended the Volunteer Service Fair last month. I would like to thank the people who signed up on our various teams to volunteer. There are still plenty of openings in our various departments for volunteers if you wish to still sign up. Please feel free to see me after service, and I would gladly help you find a volunteer opportunity. As we continue to grow and transition here at Unity in Lynnwood, our leadership team continues to blossom and grow. And with that, I'd like to have Judith Grace Hastings come join me on the platform. Judith has agreed to become our new 11 a.m. Welcome Lead team member, and I will have her say a few words.
Thank you, Michelle. Well, when I heard that they wanted me to say a few words about why I volunteer, the first thing that came to my mind was, I love this place. I love the people in it. It gives me such great pleasure to give back to a place that has given me so much. And I remember my first day when I walked through those doors and how welcomed I felt. And it is my intention that every person that walks through those doors feels the same way, that you feel welcome home. As Rabbi Ted would say, hey, welcome home.
Thank you, Judy. Thank you, Michelle. As we honor one another, as we accept one another, as we celebrate one another, we do that with our thoughts and our prayers. In the seat back in front of you, you will find a prayer slip. If you have a prayer in your heart today that you would like to write out and release, you can do that and put it in the offering basket as it goes by later in the service. That will get lots of prayer attention here. Anytime during the week, you can also leave a prayer request on our website or by calling our confidential prayer line. Or if you would like to have a time of personal prayer this morning, you can come up to the front of the sanctuary here and you can meet with one of our beautiful prayer chaplains. They uphold us in prayer all during the week, and they love to meet you with the time of personal prayer here at the end of service as well. Can we recognize you, prayer chaplains, for all the service that you provide our community? Thank you. Thank you. Myrtle Fillmore says this: prayer is an exercise to change our thought habits and our living habits, that we may set up a new and better activity in accord with the divine law rather than that of the suggestions we have received from various sources. We have a denial and affirmation this morning that we're going to take together. A denial is essentially closing the door on that which doesn't serve anymore. An affirmation is opening the window to that which does. I will say it once, and then I'll have us all do this together. I do not give my authority to the constricted perceptions of my sensory self. Rather, I pledge all allegiance to the expansive promises of my spiritual self. If you'd like, you can stand. Let's take this together. I do not give my authority to the constricted perceptions of my sensory self. Rather, I pledge all allegiance to the expansive promises of my spiritual self. Let's take a few moments to greet one another.
Good morning, Unity of Lynnwood.
Will you welcome
Unity in
Garnett
Lynnwood.
Hundley, please?
Here we go. Standing outside the door of love and mercy, you wonder if there's a place there for you. You know there's peace inside, but still you're searching for someone who understands the pain you've been through. While the Spirit waits with open arms, it's calling out your name. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter what you need, come on in. Come on in. You'll find a place of rest in the arms of Spirit. God's waited so long for your homecoming day. It knows the peace you need and the hurt you're feeling. It wants to hold you and to wipe your tears away. Well, the door's unlocked, the lights are on. What are you waiting for? Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. There is room enough in this home of love for someone just like you. Come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in, welcome home. You are loved and you belong here now. No matter where you've been, come on in. Come on in, welcome in. Come on in, welcome on, come in, welcome in. Welcome on, come in, welcome in. Welcome on, come in, welcome in. Welcome on, come in, welcome in.
There we got it. Woo! We started together, we ended together. A triumph. Garnett Hundley, will you welcome her to Unity in Lynnwood this morning? Woo! Oh, on this, her birthday week. As Ken said at 9 o'clock, it's a major birthday. The rest you will figure out. Makes me a little mad that you look younger than I do, but that's mine to work out. Mine to navigate. Small group ministry, Search for God study group. It's the work of Edgar Casey every Monday evening. The LGBTQ group on Wednesday, the caregiver support group next Sunday. If you are one who gives consistent care to another, you know the value of allowing others to provide support for you. Rabbi Ted Falcon, Ph.D. We don't say that very often. No one's surprised, right? I mean, whoo! No surprise there. Rabbi Ted and Youth and Family Ministries Director Stacy, who is in Kansas City at the International YOU Conference this weekend, have created an event for our teens, Uniteens and YOU. On Monday, July 15th at 7 o'clock, Rabbi Ted will facilitate a circle designed to discuss healthy responses to stress and anxiety. Does that sound helpful? How many would have liked that as a teen? Woo! and as an adult. Thank you very much. He'll start with the teens, and then we will graduate him to, okay, I'm going to stop right there. We are blessed, you are blessed, to have a prayer ministry who are holding you in a high consciousness, who are holding you in a place of higher possibility, who are holding you in prayer, be it unbeknownst to your conscious linear self. What a gift is that? When you awaken in the middle of the night to consider that somebody is holding you in their heart. Isn't that a beautiful thing? We are blessed to have a prayer ministries that is led by a licensed Unity teacher who would like to extend an invitation to you this morning. Would you welcome our beloved Barbara Thorpe, please?
I have to live up to that one. Good? Oh, good. Good morning. Good morning. The prayer chaplains would be honored for your presence at our Celebrate Your Divinity service, which is this Wednesday, the 10th at 7 o'clock. And come meet my friend, Siddharth Simran, a Sikh master of Kundalini Yoga and the Gong meditation. From your chair, you'll be able to do breath work, chanting, gentle stretching, and then be bathed in the sound and vibration of his gong. The gong meditation invites you into transformation and wholeness at the cellular level. Give yourselves this blessing of sound vibration. And at the closing of the service, you'll be blessed by the chaplains. We look forward to seeing all of you Wednesday evening at 7 p.m.
Every service has an ambassador, and this person's role is to support you in your exploration and discovery of this ever-changing, unfolding idea we call Unity in Lynnwood. So yet again and always, if you have a question about what we believe, about what we teach, about what is available to you, you are welcome to engage this most noble of souls in conversation. You will not be sorry. It's always a gift. It's always a gift. But that they might have a face to put with a name. Lynn Burton Harden, will you raise your hand or stand up and let them see your beautiful face, please? Oh, there's a narrative in communities such as ours. And it goes something like this. When life becomes difficult, when we don't have the rent, when there is not food on the table, when the body does what we would not have it to do, we stay away. We tend to stay away. At the time when we would be most benefited from the support of spiritual community, we tend to leave. And then we come back when we have the new Cadillac. I would like us, please, and thank you, to undo this. I'm in my 8th week of a seeming resurgence of a back issue. I thank you for your patience with me as I navigate just what it means to be in this body on days like today. I can quite assure you it is not a familiar experience to me. But what I'd like to affirm and what I'd like to model for you and what I'd like to encourage forth, there's not a group of people anywhere with whom I would rather walk this walk of discovery than you. Right? Not a group of people anywhere. Not a group of people anywhere. Always and sincerely and deeply, I am honored and delighted to share your noble presence. Thank you. Happy Sunday. Welcome to Unity in Lynnwood. Now, if you're a person of a certain age, and I am, if you're a certain of a person if you're a person of a certain age, you will certainly join me in some fond memories of iconic creations such as Green Eggs and Ham and Charlie Brown and the Great Pumpkin every Halloween, and Archie and Edith, and of course George and Wheezy. Who could forget George and Wheezy? You can recall the sound of Mel Sharples shouting at Alice and Vera and Flo at the diner, and then there's that haunting guitar at the beginning of Stairway to Heaven. That takes you back, doesn't it? If you're a person of a certain age, you remember Eddie Haskell. And Red Fox and Captain Kangaroo and Paul Lynde and at least 3 James Bonds. You've thrown a yard dart. You've played with those 2 glass click-clack balls on the end of a rope. Boy, there's a divine idea for you. Whew. Oh, like that for you? Okay, thank you. We're all unique, aren't we? If you're a person of a certain age, you know what it means to be gonged. If you're a person of a certain age, you will join me in admitting that you never really wanted Gilligan to be rescued, and that you remember who shot. Oh, how you delight me this morning. Thank you. You remember such words as NORAD and Sputnik, phrases such as Bay of Pigs and Cuban Missile Crisis, leisure suit. A source of joy for you, perhaps, I don't. Great lines such as may the force be. Thank you. Love means never having to say, of all the gin joints and all the towns and all the world, she walks into mine. And of course, the most iconic of all, as God is my witness, I'll never be hungry again. Oh, and my favorite moment of all moments. I think you probably know the one. Carol Burnett descends the stairs in that parody we know as Went with the Wind, a huge curtain rod extending from both of her shoulders with green velvet and gold fringe, and swooping down were tassels to a gold belt, and Harvey Korman says, "Starlet, that gown is gorgeous." And she answered, "Why, thank you. I saw it in the window and I just couldn't resist it." Woo. I secretly desire to own that costume for Halloween, but I shouldn't say things like that. Our online audience sends me gifts, and, well, that could get out of hand. It's during such moments of reminiscence from time to time that you've caught yourself, let's be honest, uttering that time-honored adage, "Oh, those were..." And from this same era emerged a fable. It was written in 1964. It was made into a movie in 73. It was translated into over 30 languages. It was recorded in a song by Bobby Bear, and it's the subject of a spiritual idea for this morning, and it begins, once there was a tree. And she loved a little boy, and every day the boy would come and he would gather her leaves and make them into crowns, and he would play king of the forest. He would climb up her trunk, swing from her branches, eat her apples, and they would play hide and go seek, and when he was tired, he would sleep in her shade, and the boy loved the tree, and the tree was happy. But time went by, and the boy grew older, and the tree was often alone. Then one day the boy came, and the tree said, "Come, boy, come and climb my trunk, swing from my branches, eat my apples, play in my shade, and be happy. And he responded, well, I'm too big to climb and play. I want to buy things. I want to have fun. I want some money. I'm sorry, said the tree. I have no money. I have leaves and apples. Take my apples, boy. Sell them in the city. Then you will have money, and you will be happy. And so the boy climbed up the tree and gathered her apples and carried them away, and the tree was happy. But the boy stayed away a long time, and then one day when he came back, the tree shook with joy and said, come, boy, climb up my trunk and swing from my branches and be happy. Well, I'm too busy to climb, answered the boy. I want a house to keep me warm. I want a wife. I want children. I need a house. Can you give me a house? Well, I have no house, said the tree. The forest is my house, but you may cut off my branches and build a house. Then you will be happy. So the boy cut off her branches, carried them away, built a house, and the tree was happy. And the boy stayed away for a long time, and when he came back, the tree was so happy she could hardly speak. Come, boy, she whispered, come and play. Well, I'm too old, and I'm too sad to play. I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat? Well, cut down my trunk and make a boat, said the tree. Then you can sail away and be happy. And so the boy cut down her trunk and made a boat and sailed away, and the tree was happy. And after a long time, the boy returned. And the tree said, I'm sorry, boy, I have nothing left to give you. My apples are gone. Well, my teeth are too weak for apples, he answered. My branches are gone. Well, I'm too old to swing on branches, he answered. My trunk is gone. Well, I'm too tired to climb. I'm sorry, sighed the tree. I wish I could give you something, but I have nothing left. I'm just an old stump. To which the boy answered, well, I don't need much now, just a quiet place to sit and rest. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could, an old stump is good for sitting and resting. Come sit down, sit and rest. And the boy did. And the tree was happy. The end. Now, honestly, this story could have ended very differently. I mean, that tree could have said, hey, look. After climbing my trunk and swinging from my branches and eating my apples and playing hide and go seek, a game which is very difficult for my people to play, you understand. You return for a visit and all you can say is, I want some money. The tree could have said, boy, you better step away. And the tree would have had excellent support for her position, but the tree didn't say that. Or how about this one? I'm too busy, he said. I want a wife, I want children, I need a house. Can you give me a house? The tree could have said, you may cut off my branches for a house for a price. And the tree would have had excellent support for her position, but she didn't say that. Or maybe I want a boat that will take me far away from here. Can you give me a boat? Yeah, boy, I'll give you a boat, all right. I got a boat for you. Come a little closer. I got your boat. And again, the tree would have had excellent support for her position, but she didn't say that. Let me remind you of how the story ended. Well, said the tree, straightening herself up as much as she could. Come, sit, rest. And the boy did, and the tree was happy. That's how the story ended. Now, it would be easy to frame our tree as a bit of a codependent. Even masochistic, something of a victim, some might say. And there's certainly a spiritual lesson to be had in that, but it's for another day. But personally, I prefer to think that this is a story that reminds each of us of a timeless spiritual truth that we, individually and collectively, will not solve disregard and selfishness and cruelty by responding in disregard, selfishness, and cruelty. That we, individually and collectively, we as spiritually minded people are called to address the issues of life from a consciousness higher than that which gave rise to the issues in the first place. We are called to address not enoughness from a consciousness higher than the greed which gave rise to the issue in the first place. We're called to address violence from a consciousness higher than the fear which gave rise to the issue in the first place. We are called to address cruelty from a consciousness higher than the apathy which gave rise to the issue in the first place. We are called to address iniquity from a consciousness higher than the otherness which gave rise to the issue in the first place. In this case, ours is a story of a tree who chose to address disregard, selfishness, and cruelty from a consciousness of kindness. A practice central to the crowded crossroads of arts and philosophies, cultures, generations, a practice explored by great minds, including Aristotle and Nietzsche, Einstein. The bulk of Shakespeare's opus, I would argue, can be considered a study in human kindness. A practice considered so psychologically beneficial as to have launched such movements as the kindness offensive. Isn't that a great title? The kindness offensive. The kindness chain, random acts of kindness, pay it forward, and another one, which we'd like to introduce to you this morning. It's one I know you will celebrate. It's called UIL's Hands-on Housing Initiative. And so to tell you more, to invite you into this vision, I hope you'll welcome our local humanitarian outreach ministries chair, Welaine Sharples, and our project manager, Daniel Kalfas, to the platform, please.
Good morning. We're here to invite you to join together as a congregation truly in an act of kindness. So, as Richard mentioned, we'd like to reintroduce our Hands-on Housing project, and I love, Nancy Joy, your words that you read this morning. I would add to those, if you don't think you can help, help anyway. Right? The next slide. So what is Hands-on Housing? Hands-on Housing, a lot of you have seen the television show Home Makeover in a Day. That's what we're going to do. And truly, the span of 7 in the morning to 7 at night, it'll actually be a little shorter than that for most of you in the congregation, we are going to help an individual homeowner in the Lynnwood area. And we've made some progress since we last talked in March. So the next slide. We've assembled our leadership team. We've got a great group of energetic, talented, beautiful people that have come together. And with that, we've been doing some planning behind the scenes. So, as we've been doing the planning, if you remember back in March, we appealed to the congregation, help us raise some money to do this and truly bring that act of kindness to life. We did, and the congregation has responded, each of you individually, and we have raised over $750 as a congregation. So in addition to that, we're working with Sonoma County, and with their help and support, we've been able to find a homeowner, and actually we've met with the homeowner several times. So our homeowner is Cheryl Martins. Cheryl is 84. She's widowed, recently widowed. Incredibly kind, compassionate person, but in a bit of a need of help. So you see her home there on the right, and believe me, it sticks out like a sore thumb. If you're trying to find the address, you just have to get within visual distance. You go, that's the house, right?
We are going to transform this house truly in a day. Next slide. So, we've been out there several times. These are a few members of the leadership team behind us here. We've been out there several times, starting to scope, starting to plan, so it's all in the planning, right, and then the day of execution. And we've narrowed the scope really down to we're going to work outside the house, so minimal inside, a lot of landscaping, a lot of painting, some minor carpentry repair. Everyone can help. Everyone can help. Even if you're just there helping and supporting those that are doing the work, everybody, every able-bodied person. So we've got over 60 people signed up so far. We'd love to have the full congregation out there. We're going to have music. We're going to have tents set up. We're going to have plenty of food. If you've never been to an Amish barn raising, this is about as close as you're going to get. A few more details from Elaine.
Well, I don't have any slides to distract you, so bear with me here. If you have not yet signed up, there is still time. There are 2 tables at the back, and there are sign-up sheets at the end where you can sign up to help in any way that you can. If you have already signed up, thank you so much for giving so generously of your time in this way. Cheryl is a delightful person, and a few weeks ago, had her husband lived, she would have been celebrating her 64th wedding anniversary. So what we need you to do today is, if you have already signed up, please come back and take a minute to confirm that you're still going to be there, because March was a long time ago. Plans change. Also, I think we have a few doctors or would-be doctors out there, because your writing for the email was a little sketchy, so please come back and confirm your email and correct it if it isn't right, so that we can send you updates. Also, every person needs to have a background check. Homage Services requires that. It looks daunting because it's 3 pages, but really it's just your contact info and check some boxes and a signature. It just looks like a lot. If you have already filled out a background check, your name will be highlighted in green. If not, background checks are there for you to grab, or if you have one at home, just bring it in next week. We are hoping that you all have favorite garden tools that you can bring to the event, but we also need some little heftier things, and if we don't get them, we may have to ask strangers on the street. So if you have these, please let us know on the sign-up sheet. I'm going to name them. There's also a list back there, but just in case you happen to have one in your back pocket, you can give it to us now. I need 3 high-power power washers, 2 tree trimmers, 6 wheelbarrows, 3 10x10 pop-up canopies, 2 heavy-duty garden hoses, a chainsaw to be used for construction purposes only, 3 large 20-foot truck trailers, ideally a dump truck if anybody happens to have one in their backyard, and then we need shovels and pickaxes and heavy rakes and things like that. So if you have any of those big items, please take a minute to let us know. And then you too could also have a beautiful t-shirt like this. But you need to give us your size. So that is also back on the table, and today's the last day to do that because we need to get the order in to get it here in time. I think that is all. They're unisex, and just so you know, we both have larges on, if that's helpful. Anything else? Yep, that's the next slide coming up. Sorry, did I forget anything else? Okay, so get this date on your calendar. Next week we'll have some more details, and we'll also have a little flyer for you to take home with all the information on it. Yes. Oh, yes, and sign up either for AM or PM. Thank you, Nancy Joy. Because we're going to have you pre-assigned in groups attached to a leader. And would our core leaders stand up, please, that are here right now? So if you have questions, find the teal shirts. They'll have all the answers, except for me. Don't ask me. Thank you so much.
And thanks to Elaine for coordinating that cool logo. Well done. You know, sometimes I feel like my job is keeping up. That's what I do. I mean, I I'm privileged to stand before you week after week and say things like, there is an isness. There is a beingness that has emanated, that has individuated as the soul who sits to your right, as the soul who sits to your left. I have the privilege of saying that, and that our religions are our human attempts at describing it and dancing with it. I'm privileged to say that week after week. I'm privileged to say that by virtue of our individualized status of this beingness, that we are inherently equal. We are inherently equal. I'm privileged to say such things week after week and then to try to keep up with what you do with it. Thank you, Daniel. Thank you for Elaine for making me keep up. It's a story of a tree who chose to address disregard, selfishness, and cruelty from a consciousness of kindness. And yes, it's a practice central to the crowded crossroads of art and philosophy and culture and generation and spiritual tradition alike. From Christian scripture, it's been said, in everything, do to others as you would have them do. How about that? Confucianism would say, do not do to others what you would not have done to you. Islam, not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you would wish for self. Judaism, what is hateful to you, don't do that to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. Sikhism, I am a stranger to no one, and no one is a stranger to me. Indeed, I am a friend to all. Unitarian brothers and sisters penned it this way: we affirm and promote respect for the interdependent web of life of which each of us is a part. Desmond Tutu said it this way: do your little bit of good where you are. It's these little bits of good put together that are capable of overwhelming the world. Mark Twain, kindness, he said, is a language which the deaf can hear and the blind can see. Emerson, you can't do kindness too soon because you don't know when it will be too late. It was Unity co-founder Charles Fillmore who said, we serve for the joy of serving. And Rumi, your acts of kindness are iridescent wings of divine love, which linger and continue to uplift others long after your sharing. Take a deep breath together. Let's close those human eyes of us. Those eyes which paint such a constricted view of what is true. Those human eyes that give us such a sliver of reality. And conjuring that faculty of imagination, let us open those spiritual eyes. We do not close our physical eyes to turn from the truth. You see, we close our physical eyes that we might know a higher truth. And that's a truth of that reality we choose because we gather in buildings such as this on mornings such as this to call God. We close our physical eyes that would paint of separation, that would paint of limitation, that would imply endings and beginnings, and we open our spiritual eyes to the transcendent reality of God. We indeed lift our spiritual eyes beyond the appearances and the apparitions of earthly life to that horizon where the harvest is ripe. And so conjuring yet again that faculty of imagination, what a gift. We imagine the very hearts of us. We imagine the very minds of us opening to that reality. We don't connect to it because you can't disconnect from it. But we can open to it. We can remember. We can recognize. We can acknowledge. We can turn toward. So with our spiritual eyes, we turn toward that transcendent reality we call God. In effect, we turn toward a wisdom that is ample. We turn toward a life that is ample. We turn toward that harmony that seeks only to prove itself in us, through us, as us. In this world of form, we turn to life. We imagine ourselves to be lifted by this remembering, by this recognizing, by this acknowledging. We turn toward that which already is, and that's the presence and the power of God right here, right now. It is upon its sweet currents that we have our beingness. And so we allow this awakening to extend to the soul who sits to our right. We allow this awakening to extend to the soul who sits to our left, before us, behind us. Conjuring that image that transcends tradition, era, geography. We imagine this awakening to be something of a light then. We imagine it to be something of a light, expanding beyond the physicality of us, to join with the other lights. Expanding even further, to join with other lights, to expand beyond the physicality of this building itself, to become something of a light so profound that all who have spiritual eyes, all who long to be remembered, all who long to be reminded of truths higher than that which can be revealed in the world of experience, can see it and can bask in its comforts, can revel in its promises, can delight in its potentialities. And into this conversation we say welcome, welcome, welcome. And as we allow those physical eyes to come back, we bring this awareness with us. We do not abandon it, but we bring it forth, allowing it to become the eyes with which we see, the mind with which we perceive, the tongue with which we speak, and the hands with which we serve. It was Prophet Muhammad in the Quran who said, "In every direction I turn, I behold the face of God." Let's bring that back. We close this time of remembering simply by saying, "And so it is, and so it is, and so it is, and amen."
Thank you, Dr. Richard. Your words about kindness are so inspiring, and maybe even more impactful as your expression and role modeling of kindness to each and every one of us. We're so grateful for you. Yes. This is the time in our service where we have the opportunity to give. And as we prepare our tithes and our love offerings, I would like to share with you some words that were inspired by Unity teacher Dr. Emily Cady. There must be an equal conscious receiving from Spirit and giving out to the world, a perfect equilibrium between the inflowing and the outgoing to keep in perfect harmony. We're grateful for all the gifts given for those who are present in this room today and those that are in our vibrant and growing online community as well. Let's take this affirmation together. I infuse this gift with love. I dedicate this gift to possibility. I release this gift in faith.
I'm co-creator of all I see. I can make peace, joy, and harmony. God's love and power now flow through me. All we create is divine. I'm co-creator, through God's eyes I see. Together we set things right. So let there be joy, let there be light, let there be love in this world tonight. I'm co-creator of all I see, a source of light. I'm co-creator of all I see. This world is mine. Through God's eyes I see. Together we set things all right. So let there be hope, let there be light, let there be love in this world tonight. I'm co-creator, through God's eyes I see. Together we set things all right. So let there be joy, let there be light, let there be love in this world tonight. Of all I see, a source of light. I'm co-creator of all I see. This world is mine. I believe in miracles. Let there be joy. I believe in light. Let there be love. I believe in miracles. Let there be miracles. I believe in light. Let there be free. I believe in miracles. Let there be building. Yes, let there be light. Let there be joy. Let there be love. Let there be love. Kathy, Reverend Richard, Chris, oh my goodness.
Garnett, thank you so much. And I'm not sure if you heard it, but we had Jonesy on bass for that. We had Dr. Richard on keys. And we had Bishop Kathy Chalmers on drums and vocals. So good. This crew, we are blessed. Let's take this offering blessing together. We bless these gifts with immense love. We bless these gifts as a vehicle to unfold divine possibilities. We release these gifts knowing of the expanded good that is generated from each of them. And so it is. Thank you, ushers. We can give the ushers a hand. Let's do it. We love being here every Sunday, and we also love welcoming those who might be visiting us for the first time. We would love to recognize you, or if you are a first-time guest, just with a round of applause. Is anyone here for the first time? We'd like to say hello. It's nice to see you. Welcome. Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome. We're so glad you're here. In the seat back in front of you, there is a newcomer's information card. If you haven't found it already, it lets you know a little bit more about our community. There's also a stay in touch card if you are new today or you're newish or you need to update your contact information. You could put your email address on that, and you'll get a couple emails each month letting you know about what's happening here at Unity in Lynnwood, and with a little lift of inspiration infused in them as well. As you leave the sanctuary today, there's also an information packet to the left of the door. And that is a DVD that shows you a little bit more about what's happening in our community. And if you are new today, you can also come to our gift shop to receive your complimentary issue of the Daily Word. We're so glad you're here, and you are invited, as is everyone, to come to Friendship Hall after service to continue the conversation and enjoy some refreshments. Of course, for details to all of our events, you can visit our welcome and information station at the back of the sanctuary. Today's flowers are dedicated by Jack and Angela Ekram in honor of Callie Gray. Happy birthday. The flowers are also dedicated by Tim Vokes in honor of Elizabeth for her mom's passing, for Joanne. Blessings to you both. If you'd like to make a flower dedication, you may do so in our gift shop for a suggested love offering of only $10. Interfaith at UIL presents Spiritual Saturdays with Rabbi Ted this Saturday, July 13th at 11 a.m. With talented musicians, Rabbi Ted shares the universal teachings of the Jewish wisdom tradition in this monthly intentional spiritual gathering. Through teachings, song, and meditation, he co-creates an environment supporting our awakening to the more profound levels of our own identity. Next Sunday, your Board of Trustees will offer a quarterly report specific to financial performance. For additional details and questions, plan to stay for a town hall meeting at 12:30. And all are welcome to our all-community picnic on Sunday, July 21st at Lyndale Park. Please allow your leaders to thank you for your gifts of time, talent, and treasure. Special events for our youth will be offered as well. UIL will provide humanely resourced meat and vegetarian options, and you're invited to bring a side or dessert in a reusable, compostable container, please, and you can please register. One man's trash is another man's treasure, as the old saying goes. Announcing a fun, well-organized, attractive, everybody in upscale rummage sale fundraiser for August 24th. And just to be clear, there will be no trash. Just an effort by donating your clean, undamaged, new, gently used, or vintage items on any Sunday, art, electronics, household items, books, CDs, tools, clothing, and more. We also welcome your ideas and help. Just register at the Welcome and Information Station, where you will find Nancy and Rosalie, project co-chairs. And if you'd like to take some of the beautiful music home with you today that was provided by Garnett, you can't get it in the Friendship Hall, but you can connect with her directly. She'll give you an email address, and you can connect with her to bring some music home with you. All good things happening here at Unity in Lynnwood can be found in your printed program by visiting our Facebook page or the calendar page of our website at unityinlynnwood.org. And now, if you'd like to join us for our peace song, we can stand together.
There be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, united all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
Woo! So I'm prepared to make a prediction. First of all, Ken, you're a you rock. Now, my prediction is this. The evolution of spiritual community will call us forth from our isolationism into collaboration. That's what I absolutely believe to be true. Cohabitation is no longer a high enough bar for us. The fact that you share a building with a Muslim is not a high enough bar. We have to learn how to be in respectful curiosity and friendship together. As such, after 10 years of vocal servitude, Matthew is at our sister community this morning, Center for Spiritual Living, with the Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis. We have Garnett with us. Reverend Nina is at Unity in Bellevue with Reverend Marla Mason, another sister community. That is a requirement of her education, by the way. Join us on the 21st. She will do a lesson called What Are You Committed To? Don't you just want to come hear that, right? What are you committed to? And her Unity mentor will be in town. So come roll out the red carpet with me, won't you? Show your enthusiastic support for our beloved associate minister. Take a deep breath. Close those human eyes once again. And if there's a first name of a soul you would like to invite into a higher knowingness, just speak that name aloud. Oh, so we say yes. Those names, whether spoken yet again with the tongue or the heart, it matters not. It matters not. We stand in the fullness of all that we know God to be on your behalf. We do not tarry in the shallow waters of appearance and apparition, but we stand in the deep end of God wisdom. We stand in the deep end of God life. We stand in the deep end of God harmony of God wisdom. I don't remember. Woo! We stand in the deep and abiding awareness of all that we hold God to be. How about that? That's the gift we give. It's the position we assume. It is the prayer we offer, and we close it with something of a faith and a boldness by speaking together these closing words. There is one power and one presence in, through, and around all creation. So we go forth as the eyes of divine love, as I love that, divine wisdom, as the hands of divine sufficiency. Here we go. And the bold and ready hearts of divine life. Have a great week, Unity in Lynnwood.